Hi, so today I'm going to be doing a short breathwork video just illustrating how to breathe in the different parts of the chest. So the full yogic breath, which we use during a yoga flow or yoga practice, involves the full capacity of the lungs. And what we often find from day to day is that we breathe in one part of the lungs and we don't utilize the full capacity. I am midway through my pranayama training at the moment, and my brilliant teacher has completely opened my eyes to the full breath, but also the importance of learning to breathe down in the lower lungs and the upper abdomen. It's a beautiful, very freeing breath. I did a little demonstration last week. It can take months to fully understand and get to know the full yogic breath. So this is a very, very quick version. I will be doing more breathwork series, certainly during the summer when I'm fully qualified. But for now, I just want to give you a flavor because a few people have been asking me as I start to incorporate breathwork into my teaching. Excuse the rain. Early May and it's thunder and lightning, so if that comes into the session, just ignore. So to begin with, close your eyes if you have the opportunity to do so, or you can just lower the gaze. And I want you to just let the awareness gently turn inwards. And allow your awareness to rest on the breath. Try not to affect the breath at this point. Try to observe and watch the breath and just notice where the breath is, where you're feeling the breath in the body. You might not feel it anywhere in the body. There's no judgment, no right or wrong. You might just feel it in your nostrils, or if you're congested, in your mouth. But just take a few moments to notice. And then notice how the breath feels today at this moment in time. Again, no judgment, no criticism. The breath may feel very free, very expansive, or it might feel a bit stilted, a bit stuck. Completely depends when you're practicing in the day, where you are in your day when you're watching this video, what you've just been doing, how your night was. So just notice it. No right or wrong, no judgment. And then bring your attention to the inhale and the exhale. Initially the inhale, and notice how that feels within the body. And then slowly transition your awareness to the exhale. And just notice whether that feels any different in the body. And then with your eyes still closed, or you can look at me, that's easier. Bring your hands to your lower ribs and your upper abdomen. Fingertips if you can. Fingertips are more sensitive. And then imagine a band from the front extending round to your back. And bring to mind a colour. And imagine the band around your waist is glowing. Waist isn't quite accurate. Ignore that. you're higher up. So around the lower ribs and upper abdomen, waist will confuse you. But imagine that this band is glowing with that color. And with your fingertips just resting, just notice the belly rising and falling beneath your fingertips. And if you can see, it is quite hard to see, but what you certainly can see is that my shoulders aren't heaving. So I'm drawing the breath down. And the moment the breath touches this band, it starts to glow the same color. So I have a yellow color in my head because it's my solar plexus point. But you can have whatever color you like. It's a very calming area for you to breathe into. So you're looking for the belly to rise and fall. Rise as you inhale, as the diaphragm contracts, pushes down, therefore pushes the belly up. And then as you exhale, the diaphragm rises up, relaxes, pushes the air out. It's very efficient breathing down here. Then release the hands, bring the backs of the hands to the sides of the ribs, the middle part of the chest. And imagine a different color. And for the time being, just concentrate your breath into the middle part of the chest. I don't know if you can see my hands slightly moving. This tends to be scientifically, it is a more fiery part of the body to breathe into. So very calm, stimulates the vagus nerve. Efficient breathing, efficient gas exchange that eases tension in the muscles, eases pain. As the muscles relax, the blood vessels dilate, and that lowers the blood pressure. Here we're breathing. The heart obviously is here. It's a more sympathetic nervous system side. But it's often the most comfortable place to breathe because it's potentially where you're used to breathing. That's fine. Completely natural. Some people, you might find this is where you breathe. You might find it more natural here. Then release the hands and bring the fingertips under your collarbones. Just lightly, don't need to press. And then you're going to inhale in the top of the chest, and you'll hopefully see or hear me breathing, because I had to really consciously breathe up here. Another way of doing that is bring your hands under your armpits, lowering your elbows down, constricting your chest and then breathing. And you'll really see and notice how constrained that feels. So you may well breathe into this part of the chest if you're in a rush, if you're stressed, if you're doing exercise. So if you're running, it's usually quite hard. You inhale through the mouth and you don't necessarily get a deep breath. And you can imagine how tight your muscles in your neck and the top of your shoulder would become, or do become, when you're breathing and you're stressed and you're sat at work and your shoulders are rounded and you're not able to breathe and open the chest, and the difference between the capacity of the lungs there to there. So then release the hands and just be with the breath. Just experiment how it feels to be free in the lungs. Imagine the breath spiraling up through the different colours. So you can keep the colours or you can let the colours go for now and just be with the breath circling, spiraling up as you inhale from the lower lungs. And then exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. I'm doing that quite demonstratively, but just let the breath be very gentle. It doesn't need to be forceful. A big, deep breath doesn't need to be it can actually be a lot softer, almost wafty. I was talking about this with one of my students last week about jellyfish wafting. I don't love jellyfish, but I can see how useful that can be because they're very floaty and wafty. So imagine the breath and almost free yourself from the constraints of the lungs. The breath expands beyond the structure of the lungs, out and back in. Just experiment with how that feels in the front body, the side body, and the back body. So really remember that the bands extend around. They're not just the front body. And this is an introduction for you to the full yogic breath through sectional breathing, just touching on it, and we'll do a lot more later in the summer. And if you have any questions, just message me direct. But thank you for joining and enjoy.